So how you want me to do it, Luke?
Uh, just bringing in how like just start off kind of like just do what you did yesterday. That was really good,
Mm-hmm.
and then just make sure we get a chance to plug all this stuff.
So this is episode 8.
8, yeah.
I'm gonna kind of just introduce you, and then you can finish the rest of your introduction.
You do whatever you need to do, B. Can I get a little more volume in the headphones in there, or is this the loudest it gets in here? Because I'm deaf in one ear. I think, yeah, all them nightstand extra speakers done took a toll.
Oh man.
Yeah, my left ear.
Really?
Partially deaf, yep.
Oh man.
That's why whenever I talk to you, I always put you on my right side. If I like, this is my friends know me. If I like you, if I fucks with you, I put you on my right side. I can hit everything. If I don't rock with you like that, you're on my left side.
Oh, so you ain't fucking with me?
No, you're always on my right. Yeah, you are always on my right side.
I'm always over here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah. Can I cuss?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, motherfucking yeah. Way down in the
is...
jungle. You're going to see, there's 3 sides of Ray.
Really? Did I get a countdown?
There's the normal side, the host, and the radio personality.
Okay.
It's all very interesting.
I want to taste all 3 sides.
Girl,
today.
you better watch your language. You better watch how you use that verbiage.
Hey. Welcome to Suddenly Single Atlanta. It's your girl, Maddie. You know, Glow her slayage took a little bit longer today, so she's coming in a minute. And we are about to start episode 8. I have a very special guest here today. Some of you ladies and fellas in the ATL, very familiar, but you're nationally known. Ain't that right, Big Ray?
Something like that.
What?
Something like that.
Well, welcome to Suddenly Single Atlanta.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Big Ray, hashtag Big Ray in the building. Magic 1075, 975, The Real Sound of Atlanta, formerly of V103, the People Station. ATL's hottest host, the People's host. I done been on tours, opened up for artists. I'm the celebrity host, you know what I'm saying? So
you don't say.
I do say. I just said it. Hey, why do people? You don't say. No, really. I just said.
You just said that. Yeah. Well, you did that.
I does that.
And you doing that.
Been doing that.
I mean, big things.
I've been in the music industry since 1988.
Oh, wow. What was I doing in '88?
Don't say it, because if you age me, I'm leaving. I'm walking out of here.
Nah, we don't age on Suddenly Single Atlanta. We keep it popping, young, fresh.
Look, it is what it is, yo. No, seriously, you can't be an older gentleman still wearing, throwback jerseys. You can't be in your 60s still wearing throwback jerseys.
Well, I saw a throwback about 2 weeks ago.
And it still exists. And there's nobody in their clique to be like, hey, bro, let's head over to D&K real quick. Let's get you straight.
I just went up to him and said, you're wearing vintage tonight.
Don't do that. Don't
he liked it, though. He liked it.
He would.
And I rubbed his chest, so it was cool. I got away with it.
But see, that's what a woman does, though. You know what I'm saying? That y'all, what's the word I'm looking for? Not placate, but y'all hype up our false ego sometimes.
I mean, I don't see it that way. I love my men. I have to support y'all, and I have to. Encouragement is the key.
Encouragement is great. Supporting is great. Keeping it 100 though is key, because everybody needs somebody in their crew. Everybody needs a non-man in their crew.
That's right.
My whole crew is non-mans, because their job is to keep me on point.
I've seen you a couple of Saturday nights at the Monticello, and you have a lot of the non-male companions that support you.
Nah, man. Hey, bruh. Nah, man. Come over here. But you know what though? With everything that I've gone through, and I have a friend of 30 years. One of my best friends, Lisa, and she's in my non-man clique. And anybody that you have built a relationship with, a friendship with, whatever, and if they can't do something like that to you at this point in the game, then it's time to reevaluate your circle.
That's true. Well, let's get down to why we're here. The nitty gritty. You're at Suddenly Single Atlanta. I want to start off by, where are you originally from?
Bronx, New York.
Really?
Bronx via Albany.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I'm from the Bronx, born and bred, lived there forever, and then when I went to college, I started off at Johnson C. Smith in Charlotte, got kicked out of there. And then my mom's
Kicked out?
Yeah, long story. Then my mom's was like, well, you're not gonna stay in the Bronx. We're gonna send you to Albany. So I originally went to SUNY Albany, University of Albany, state of New York. And then I was in a party mode. Like I was the party promoter, party guy, you know.
You
like,
don't say. I don't believe that.
And you're lying. I was the party promoter, me and my crew. And the thing is, it's like I was, what's the word? What did they make me? They made me non-matriculated. You know what non-matriculated is?
No, please explain.
Non-matriculated is you're here, but you're not really here. Like, we will let you take the classes, but we're not giving you a grade. We're taking your money, but we're not giving you a grade. You have to prove to us that we can give you a grade before we give you a grade.
Really?
I'm like, what is that? So then I transferred over to Hudson Valley Community College, and that's where I somewhat finished up. I got my, I finished up off season. And but I was in Albany for like 20 years. My daughter's up there, my youngest son is up there. That's where I met my wife up there. It's like I got family up there. A lot of my whole I ran a marketing promotions company up there.
Wow.
I was doing morning radio up there. So Albany was my second home.
So that was just the kickoff of the radio career.
Well,
and everything career.
No, the kickoff for the radio career was in 2000. But I was working for record companies from 88 up until 2000.
Wow.
And I've done everything from Arista, Uptown, Motown, Def Jam, Wu-Tang Records, Frontline Marketing, different record companies, G Street. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been in. So I've even done record promotions, touring, mix show promotions, a stint of A&R, you know what I'm saying? Like A&R assistant, you know what I'm saying? So I've really been a lot of the background for a lot of the stuff that's gone on in the industry.
Speaking of A&R, anybody in particular you help get out here?
Not really.
Not really?
Because at that time, record companies, it was like a corner store. There was a company on every corner. Back in the 90s, like 91, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it was good in the business back then. I helped on the promotions of a lot of other projects. So like I was really into the promotions game.
Yeah.
So like, I was with the team that did Erykah Badu's first album, and that shipped platinum. I was with the team that was did Capone Noriega CNN, first independent hip hop group to go platinum. God, so many Jungle Brothers,
so much.
De La, like there's just been so much.
Yes.
And then even before that, I was an artist. I had a record deal. I was with a group called
Really?
Man, listen.
Let me find out you can rock the mic.
Listen, I was with a group called MCOD. I like to say we were the original Wu-Tang. And we were called MCs of Destruction. And it was like 400 of us, yo. It was just crazy. And then after that, I was with a group called Thus the Mission Begins, which was down with the whole tribe vibe and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we rolled around with De La and Jungle and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And nothing really major, but that was really my introduction.
How did it feel to be an artist? What was that life like for you?
At that time, the way it was really nothing, yo.
Nothing.
We go do shows, do a show here and there. You know what I'm saying? I was always, though, me personally, I was always trying to just get into the back end of the business. I didn't want to be an artist.
Well, let's fast forward a little bit. So you come to the ATL because I saw the glass ceiling where I was, but I couldn't get out of it. And I was doing morning radio in Albany, New York, and I had one of my best friends was living down here with his wife. Yeah.
And I said, I told my fiance at the time, I said, yo, let's go. It was 4th of July weekend. I'll never forget this. We came down here, flew down here, stayed with my cousin out in Rex, and was going back and forth to my boy's crib and hanging out and all that stuff. And I was driving up Northside Drive, and I remember listening to the commercial, and it was, "It's the rib tips." I was like, "Yo, honey, we gotta move here. They are selling black food on, because you don't see that up north like that. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? And
that's
everything
true.
was so black and everything was so moving, and there was opportunities. There was like 6 or 7 black radio stations in this market. You know, New York is 2, and that, you know, because New York is such a melting pot culturally. Here, it's a melting pot um, from about where you from. Like, everybody's here is from Detroit, Chicago, New York, DC, California. New York, it's black,
From
Puerto
everywhere.
Rican, white, Asian. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yes.
a little bit different. But I said, I want to do better, you know? And in all honesty, I was about to get out of the radio game. And I had a marketing job down here for a marketing company. I got my acceptance letter, salary, all that. Got married. The next day, my wife moved down here with my son because he started school in August. I didn't realize they started school so early down here.
Always
So,
in
you know,
Georgia,
New York,
always.
it's like September, you know.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, so they left. So literally, my honeymoon, I was by myself. So they left, and I came. I still had to give my 2 weeks because I couldn't do it because, you know, in radio, you say you're leaving, they will take you off the air immediately. I still had to get some checks underneath my belt. You know what I'm saying? So, I finally moved down here, and it's supposed to be like a good 2 weeks before I started my new job. So the second week came, I'm calling, no response. Calling, no response. The company shut down.
Wow.
The company shut down.
Wow.
So I had to go back and do what I knew how to do, and I started hitting up all these radio stations. Like, it got stalkerish to a point, yo. Because, you know, I'm at the point where if you after something and until they give you a definitive no, then I'm still going to pull up on you, you know. And then finally, I got the phone call from V103
Awesome.
and WAOK. They say, "Hey, listen, you want to start as a board op?" I was like, "Sure." It's, you know, mind you, I came from mornings, my own show,
Yes.
but you got to get in where you fit in.
Exactly.
You know, once you in the door, you can move anywhere.
Exactly. It's all about building a foundation.
So I did. I was a board op for some years, and then I used to also board op for Big Tigger show when he had the syndicated show, and Nick Cannon. Now this is around the time when Nick Cannon started getting all these health issues, and he had to let some of this stuff go.
Wow.
So he lit that radio show, and I went to the boss. I was like, "Yo, listen, I'm already in the building. I'm already here. What's up?" So thank you, Nick Cannon. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to
like,
Nick Cannon.
every time I see him, I tell him that same story, and I thank him, yo. You know, and then I was part-time on air, and then still board op in between V103
Well,
and
for our
WAOK.
listeners, can you explain to them what exactly?
Board opping is running the board. Board opping is running the board, making sure the buttons are pressed, the commercials are played, nothing stops running, everything is running on time and smooth.
So you were the brains behind the show.
Give or take. Yeah, something like that. So I did that on air, kind of moved up the ranks a little bit. So then I started doing overnights on the weekends. You know, still board op and overnights on the weekends. Then I ended up being producing for, who did I produce for? A couple of shows on our news and talk, on the News and Talk station 1380. Then I started doing stuff for Frank and Wanda in the morning. And this is over some years. You know, I'm just giving you the timetable.
Yeah.
And then I was doing traffic. I started doing traffic. And that was so dope because I didn't know where certain things were, and I'm reporting this. And now as I drive, like, oh, that's where the Kyle Cloverleaf is. Okay, that's why they, you know. So I started doing traffic. I became the traffic dude at WAOK. Then I started doing traffic with V103 also. So I'm back and forth. So then I was under the tutelage of Jean Ross, who was the program director for News and Talk 1380 WAOK, and she was in retirement mode. So I became her assistant program director in a sense. And when she left, I became the program director for WAOK
Wow.
and doing traffic.
You've
You
had
know?
an awesome career.
Mhm.
Like you have elevated so quickly, and during this time is all being newly married.
Newly married, and mind you, it's in only 10 years. Like I've been down here 11 years officially. You know, you got people who've been down here longer than that and still haven't done the type of stuff I've done. So I'm really just blessed and thankful. And just to finish up real quick, I want to say last year, really around this time, I think Ryan Cameron gave me a call and said, "Hey, listen, you ready to do radio?" I was like, "Yeah." He said Monday through Friday. I was like, "Man." And thank you to Ryan Cameron. That's my guy right there. So that's when Radio 1 called me, and I'm over with Magic 107.5, 975. I do 2 to 6, Monday through Friday, night ride experience. So I'm the third shift dude. I'm the overnight guy.
Well, listeners, you hear that? you got to check this guy out. He's awesome.
I guess so. I guess
He's
so.
pretty great. He's pretty great. So how did this coincide being in a marriage, a new marriage, then seasoned married, and your career? That's what our listeners want to know. We want to know, how did you balance your career and your relationship?
It's hard. It was hard. And the thing is, the music industry is such a different beast than regular corporate or the post office, or you have your own business, or you work for the schools. It's just so different because the music industry is 24/7.
Yes.
You know, 24/7. Like, it got to a point that I had to shut my phone off because I was getting the tweets, the texts, the social media alerts that concerned me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that had something to do with me. So I had to separate myself. Now, mind you, this is kind of like my second round. I learned the first round with my daughter's mother,
Okay.
who was with me when I was deep in the record company business. You know what I'm saying? And I learned from the mistakes I made with that, which was time and, you know, really paying attention and just, you know, trying to separate both of the girlfriends that I had, you know, because the industry is like a second wife. The industry is sometimes like your first wife,
Yes.
and your wife is your second wife.
And you have to have that clear understanding.
You
of
gotta have it. And
the communication is key.
right, communication is always key. And you know, I always say, from the radio standpoint, you got people on the radio that don't communicate. You know, in the field of communication, we don't communicate. You know, it's simple. That's just like a cop not knowing how to govern his own house.
That's true.
But he's able to run the streets. You know what I'm saying?
But you got to run your house the same way you run
Right.
the streets. You
The-
got to
the-
run a tight ship.
Yeah. The problem was, and I don't want to say it's a problem. I think being able to manage just expectations, like you know,
Yes.
it's hard.
Well, we have a beautiful young lady that just joined set right now. Hey, Glow.
Hey guys,
Hey,
how
girl.
are you?
This is Big Ray.
Hey Big Ray.
Hi, Chloe. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, yo.
This
Nice
is
to
the,
Ooh,
meet
she
you.
cute.
isn't she
I
though?
got a bunch of, I'm light skinned
Oh.
bookends, yo. I'm like, make a Big Ray sandwich out this
Yeah,
piece. Let's
we
get
did
it
just make a
poppin'.
sandwich. You can't tell.
Let's get it popping, yo. They look like goddamn, what you call them things, them little Neapolitans and joint, yo.
Oh,
Let's get
okay.
Let's get it.
Ooh.
Don't, okay, y'all don't do that.
Don't flatter us.
Don't
Look,
do that.
what a
Hey.
good time.
I ain't Big Ray for no reason now. goddamn.
Oh, okay now. Oh, alrighty. On that note,
Yes, we were just catching up with Big Ray. He was telling us a little bit about his career. So we're going to take a break, a pause right now, and we'll be right back.
Alright.
Okay. Where you want to join in at?
where y'all at?
He was just telling about his career, but we were just breaking into his relationship, how that goes with being in the entertainment business.
What's your job that you do? What is it that you do, Ray?
I'm sorry, I'm an on-air personality.
On your personality?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that better?
I'm with Magic.
Okay. Hey. Alrighty. Well, where you guys want to go from here? We're just talking a little bit more. Oh, did you get into your
Well,
relationship part?
Yeah, we can get into that because the reason why I brought him as a guest is because both of y'all come from being in the entertainment industry and being married long term and all that. So I can kind of introduce you like that, and y'all can kind of feed off each other from there.
Okay, but y'all haven't gotten into like his relationship. No. Okay, so I'm gonna be learning as well.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Bring
us there.
You can bring us back.
Okay. Alrighty, we ready?
Yes, ready.
Hey, everybody, we're back. It's your girl Glow, Maddie, and
Hi.
Big Ray
In the building.
here for Suddenly Single Atlanta, and I guess Ray, we want to get into what it's like been for you. I mean, what's your relationship? You know, with your history, what happened with your relationship?
I mean, I was married for 11 years. We made 11 years in August.
You said
5th.
Was.
And I'm officially divorced.
Oh.
Like.
So you're suddenly single.
Suddenly.
Like how suddenly?
Yeah.
Like the paperwork was done last Thursday.
Ooh, you're
Thursday
newly
that
official.
Just passed.
Newly official.
Newly official.
You know, this is coming as a huge shock to me because I was just in the Monticello and met your wife.
Back when y'all like kind of we first opened.
Yes, when we first opened.
That's why I'm suddenly single.
Oh,
you know.
Well, if you don't mind, what happened? I mean, 11 years.
You know,
now it's over.
I ask myself that question every day because I'm at a point right now. I'm at self-reflection, you know what I'm saying, and just rebuilding everything.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, being a divorced man, what we have to do, first of all, we gotta hold that L.
Mm-hmm.
That's an L.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta hold that. We gotta own that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's I'm not proud of it.
No.
You know how you got some dudes, I'm free, I'm
Mm-hmm.
out here now. You know, I may put that persona on just for security reasons,
Mm-hmm.
but deep down inside, it's killing me.
But still breaking up a family.
And we as women can relate to that because nobody ever gets married to say, okay, I'm going to be divorced.
Right.
And it's a failure for both. It's an L for you, it's an L for us, especially for the men and the women who are family, who love to be married, who want that, but for whatever reason it didn't work. So it's an L both ways, you know. But so you're going through that phase of really just processing what happened, owning it, and just trying to move forward.
Right. And you know, and you asked the question why and what happened. I mean, it's a lot of mitigating circumstances. Okay, so we go back, and you know, it's things that you didn't pay attention to because you were so busy, and now that you're not as busy, it's now in your face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's always gone. When he's home, I don't get the attention like I need.
Mm-hmm.
Which I have to own up to, you know. But my thing was, my goal was to provide for the family. I can't be home and still earn.
Right.
You know, I don't have that residual income yet.
Understood.
You know, I can't be, you know, and then when I'm home, I'm tired and I don't, you know, and then there's attitudes and I want to give you the attitude and then, you know, I got to get some sleep because I got to get up and I got to do this whole shift here and I got to, you know.
The balance.
And sometimes I felt I was balancing more or I was trying to balance more and then it was like, well, now you have to come to me. And, you know, my ego was like, well, why do I gotta come to you? I'm out here, why can't we do this halfway?
Mm-hmm.
I felt it wasn't going that way. You know, and then at the end of the day, we just weren't happy with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Ryan Cameron gave me this new hashtag. It's hashtag not at 50. I'm not going to do it at 50. You know what I'm saying?
Not at 50.
You know what I'm saying? Hashtag not at 50.
We may have to use that.
You know what I'm saying? I credit the Ryan King. So,
not at 40.
Not at 45.
Okay. Right, not at 45.
You know, and you know, I'm respectively 47, and I'm coming up to this second half of the lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
So and you know, and her thing was she's not going to be her parents.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to live unhappy for years.
Right.
And my thing was, I'm not going to be my dad. My dad was so controlled by my mom on every aspect to a point where my mom died. My dad didn't know where anything was.
Mm-hmm.
I found myself going down that road because I let her take care of everything. And my job and my answer was always, you got it. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? If you whatever you need, let me know. I'm gonna try to make it happen and give to you. You know, but just do it.
And like, and not that that's a bad thing, because I know there's plenty of situations where the man provides, the woman took care of the house. In some situations, he come home, give her a check. He might keep $50. I mean, whatever people have to do to formulate their marriage, their home, their happiness, that's cool. I just think that balance and all of that, because even in a situation where a man is the sole provider, and let's say he's controlling and she's more domesticated, there's times when if he passed away, she don't know nothing. She don't have no
And that's how
information.
that's how my dad was.
I think in those situations, I think it's always good, and it's both of their responsibilities to communicate and to say, okay, well, in this situation, when it comes to our life insurance, when it comes to our will, what's up? So I can at least have that information.
Right.
What's up if, where's our vendors if our dishwasher goes broken and our washing machine? Who do I call, honey, if you're not here? Like, there's certain things that a couple is responsible for, I think, as far as communication and making sure y'all are on a certain accord and the same page with certain information, and not being complacent or so comfortable with relying on that person, because we all know death is inevitable and it could happen at any turn.
Right.
Anytime.
So I don't think that that's a bad thing, because when we do hear these situations, it's like, oh, but it's for that couple, I feel, to be responsible and sharing important, pertinent information,
You're right, and that's the issue when my, like I said, when my mom's died. I'm trying to help Dad get everything together, and it's hilarious, because as I was going through, I'm like, yo, what did my mother have her hands into? Like, she had everything that my dad didn't even know about, and it's funny. I used to take this class when I went to BMCC in the Bronx, and it was called The Black Man, and it was taught by Professor Drabo, I think it was, and he was so old school, and he would sit there, he'd be like, young brothers and sisters, let me tell you, my wife owns none of my property. And I'm like, what? And then he would be there, his exact words were, young sisters, if you feel offended, you can go down the hall and take the class of The Black Woman. But this is The Black Man. I'm like, okay. Let me not walk by him in an open area. But I mean, and I'll always state this, and whenever I tell my narrative, I will never ever disrespect my ex-wife.
Right.
And that's very important,
Even
because so many people do.
Even if it's stuff that's just like, but she was wrong, and I would never put that out there, because really, that's our story. Who really cares, and what is it going to change?
And do you have children?
We have 4 kids between the both of us.
Okay.
But we don't have kids with each other.
But see, even
Do you think that makes your situation easier?
It made it a lot easier.
Yes.
It made it a whole lot easier, because when you got kids, then there's the DNA test, the child support.
Yeah.
Well, it's just the co-parenting.
The separation,
It's
the co-parenting. Right. I'm already doing that with my daughter's mother.
I feel like in my situation, in my divorce, because we didn't have children together, I feel that our break was a lot easier.
Yeah, I think it is. But what I wanted to ask you was this: I wanted to, and in what you're saying, I agree, because me and my ex-husband were together 13 years, married 7, but we've been divorced for 2 years. And even going through that, I did make it a point to not do like what my mother did. My mother used to talk about my father openly, freely, like she didn't care if I walked in the room, what she was talking about.
Right.
And a lot of that made me angry at her, because it kind of made me like, well, now I see why he left, But I didn't want to do that for my children. So whenever I had an issue with him and I had to talk about it with him, I made sure they weren't there, or they just weren't in the house. If I'm venting to my mother or what have you, I never really want them in our business.
See, the funny thing is, I can be such an asshole sometimes. When we were going through our stress, girl, let me tell you something. I'm a Taurus, okay?
Oh, stubborn.
Yep. Oh, I'm an Aries, so.
When we were going through our tension, and my son, my middle boy is 20, soon to be 21. My adoptive is 19, okay? Who's in the house with us right now. And my wife would say, the kids can tell there's something going on. In my head, in my stubborn head, man, they grown. Fuck them kids, yo. They grown. But I, with hindsight,
That wasn't the
2020.
right response.
I understand. I said it too. I was like, man, fuck them kids. They grown.
They
you
have
know,
feelings too.
They do, because I sat down with my middle, and he was just like, what happened?
Right.
You know, and my middle is one of my boy. You know what I'm saying? He takes a lot of, like, he's so much like his mother, but when it comes to the man part of stuff and how to treat a woman, he took a lot of that from me, and I'm so happy he did. You know, because he's very respectful. He's very faithful. He's very level-headed. Like when he said, like, I'm a calm dude, and it's not you. There's not a lot that you can do to get me riled up unless it's like, you know, oh, now you want to pull a gun? You know what I'm saying? But he's very level-headed when it comes to stuff. When it comes to his relationships,
That's awesome.
and very honest to man. Listen, that boy is too honest. So I said, boy, if you don't shut your mouth, man.
Let me ask you, speaking of the ladies, so are you looking forward to dating in Atlanta?
I'm scared.
Why?
I am scared because these broads is crazy out here, B. Like, I swear to God, I'm going through Facebook dating,
Oh my.
and I'm just
Oh.
looking to see what's there. And
Tell us about the Facebook dating
is that?
experience.
Let me-
Like
let
I've
me
been
tell you
seeing
something.
it, but I'm not into the.
it's just ridiculous, yo. It's like adding a friend, but then you got to initiate the conversation. I'm old school. I'm going to meet you at the spot. I'm gonna make you laugh first of all. You've seen me in action.
Yes,
I'm gonna make
have.
you laugh. If you laugh, that means you kind of feeling the vibe. Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna try to come in and have some interaction with you. I'm gonna dance with you. I'm gonna do something with you. If you say no, I'm okay, then it's like, okay, you're not feeling the manliciousness that I offer.
The manlicious.
Yes. It's called the manlicious.
What?
That's the name
I
of my
love
that's
it.
the name of my fragrance.
I
anyway.
love it.
It's okay. So but then if you know what I'm saying, if it's like that, so then I initiate conversation and then we'll text and then we'll talk. I cannot do dating apps. Cause all I'll do is judge you by the way you look.
That's what I can't do it.
I'd be like,
I
be like-
swear they're gonna catfish me. I know they can't look like this.
B, let me well, that's for the guys. For the girls, I'd be like, too big, too small, too dark, too light, too crazy looking.
So what is your
Too-
type?
I ain't got no type. Hey, hey.
Hey.
Bad bitches is the only thing that I like.
Hey.
Let me ask you this. Okay, so you are more of a, and that's a lot like like me because I'm more of an interaction person. I prefer old school. Like we meet, you know, the online dating thing to me is really weird because you go and you're like, okay, we're all here today, but then nobody wants to say something, or if they do say something, they disappear. It's weird, you know what I mean? I'm just used to a man see me and he like me, he come at me, he approach me, I either like his approach, I don't, and if he feels